let's imagine that you have entered into gridlock. You have reached gridlock, okay? It seems like no compromise can be found. Well, what I want you to do is I need you to become what Gottman calls a dream detective. A dream detective. So, according to Gottman, he says that gridlock reveals that there are core values and beliefs underneath the gridlock. So while the issues may look simple on the surface, there's much more going on underneath. What do I mean by that? Let's take the husband who I said was a workaholic, and I said, oh, it's so hard for me to say this to him. Is he displaying some workaholic behavior? Sure. But when his wife started to dig and dig and dig and see the dream behind the workaholism, she started to see, oh, there's so much more than meets the surface. It's not that he wants to work, and be home away from the family and doesn't want to be a team player and doesn't want to help me. You see, for him, his job represents security. It represents freedom. He has goals of retiring early. And he has goals of retiring early so that he can provide for his family. And so when she started to be a dream detective, when she started to dig, you can think of a dream detective as someone who has their hard hat on, they have their shovel in hand, and they're literally digging the ground. If you were to look for treasure, if you knew that treasure was buried, surely treasure, if it is treasure, it wouldn't be buried at the surface level. You'd have to dig quite a while before you hit something that resembles a treasure box, a treasure chest. And when you found that treasure chest, you'd say, surely all of my hard work paid off. Well, this is what it means to be a dream detective, to put your hard hat on, to get your shovel in hand, and to start digging to see the dream behind the perpetual problem. Okay? Now, in order for you to get out of gridlock, you need to become a dream detective. But also, in order for you to avoid gridlock, you need to become a dream detective. Oftentimes, when I'm working with couples, I'll ask the husband, I'll look to the husband, I'll say, hey, do you know your wife's dreams? And he'll look at me like a deer caught in headlights, like, no, I didn't even know she had dreams, right? I didn't know she had ambitions and goals. What do you mean, does she have dreams? And then I'll look to the wife and I'll ask the same question. Hey, do you know the dreams, the ambitions, the goals, the visions of your husband? No, I have no idea what they are. So now I'm going to ask you the question. Do you know your husband's dreams, his goals? Do you know your wife's ambitions, her goals, her dreams? If the answer is no, I need you to find out. If the answer is no, I need you to find out, because what happens is that behind these perpetual problems, there is an unmet dream, an unmet wish. And so you're fighting at the surface level with each other, but as soon as you become a dream detective and you go underneath and you see each other's dreams, you're going to relate to each other completely different. Renee knows my dreams. I know his dreams. And so when we know each other's dreams, when we know each other's temperaments, we go about solving perpetual problems completely different than we did before. And because of it, it prevents us from going into gridlock problems. So I'm going to give you an example. If you're going to try to find out your spouse's dream, I'm going to give you an example of what not to say and then of what to say instead. So imagine husband and wife. Wife is just a dreamer. And husband asks her, okay, what's your dream? Oh, I've dreamed of buying a house in Alaska. I've dreamed of buying a beautiful, beautiful house in the mountains of Alaska. And well, now the husband looks to her and she's dreaming, right? She's closing her eyes. She's just visualizing. She's imagining. I mean, she even gets goosebumps because Alaska is cold. So she's really getting into it. And, you know, the husband is looking at her and he says, okay, first of all, we could never afford something like that. Plus, how stressful would it be to own a house in Alaska? I mean, are you kidding me? These people, you know, they have to sleep when the sun is still out. Alaska, you know how cold it is in Alaska? That is completely unrealistic. I mean, imagine the wear and tear of this place. It's not going to work. Well, what do you think is going to happen to your wife if you respond in that way? Well, she's going to say, you know what, forget it. And then you're going to say, what happened, what happened, what happened? She's going to say, forget it. And then she's going to go to sleep. And she's most likely not going to go to sleep with you. That's what not to say. But now, what should you say? So the wife says again, oh, I could just dream of buying a property in the middle of the mountains in Alaska. Now, what the husband can say, even if this woman sounds crazy, okay? But you need to be a dream detective. You are going to start digging. Remember, hard hat, remember, shovel in hand. You're going to say, tell me what it means to you to own a house in the mountains of Alaska. What would it do for you? Oh, and then the wife is excited, right? Because now he just asked her a question that she's been wanting to answer. Well, what it would mean for me is, you have no idea how amazing it would be. You see, my parents every year would take us to a property that they owned in Alaska. And it was awesome. My brothers and my sisters, we dreamed about it every single day the whole year. When the day finally came, we were so ready and we were so excited. And some of our best memories was at our little cabin in the middle of the mountains in Alaska. And to me, what that cabin would represent is that I would make my parents proud, is that I would have accomplished something that I know they took so much pride in. I would love to tell my parents, hey, look at this house. Look at the memories that I now will build with my families, and look at the memories that meant so much to me. I would love to have a little room in that house for my parents to come and to come with us as well. So, do you see where now it's not just about the house in the middle of the mountains in Alaska, but there are dreams behind the perpetual conflict? Maybe the conflict is that the wife, all she thinks about is this. But now that the husband knows the dream behind it and what it means and what it represents, they could start going about it in a completely different way. And let me tell you something. As a sanguine, and Renee as a phlegmatic, there is never a dream that I dream that Renee thinks, that is absolutely insane. Right? All of my dreams to Renee, to his temperament, they are absolutely insane. Let me tell you guys something. I have never been able to dream with 2 feet planted on the ground. You know, Renee and I kid all the time. My dreams are so humanly impossible. They're so crazy. They're so far-fetched. They're like the opening of the Red Sea kind of dreams. And as you can imagine, for someone like Renee who's a phlegmatic, he's thinking, Lord have mercy. No way. Right? But he doesn't do that. And so I always say that while I'm dreaming with my 2 feet off the ground, Renee is under me making all the calculations to make sure I don't self-implode, to make sure that my dreams can become a reality. And I want to do the same for him. Marriages are about us finding out each other's dreams, coming together, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to make sure his dreams become a reality, and he makes my dreams become a reality. And so we bring our temperaments together in order to, out of a conflict, out of a perpetual problem, find the dreams behind it to make it become a reality.